And you ended up deploying domestically.
Yes.
Yeah, so you want to tell
Yeah.
us about that?
That was in, geez, when was that I started? 1997?
Right, the ice storm.
Yeah. Yeah, we were down and I was one of the people down with a few others down one of the hardest hit areas, 35 to 45 minutes outside of Saint Jean.
Okay.
Um, the original task can come down actually when it was my warrant officer called me up at like 8 o'clock at night. He says, "What are you qualified to drive?" I said, "What do you mean? What's on your 404s?" I said, "Okay, well, LSVW or LSVW, LTIS, da 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 da," ran them
Yep.
all off. And he says, "Okay, thank you. That's all I need." I went to bed. And next thing you know, like 10 o'clock at night, I'm like, "Oh, well, shit." And I was like,
Oh no,
and
something's
my
up.
spouse back then, I was like, what's going on? What are you gonna do? I gotta go up to the attic, get all my kit out. I'm going away. She goes, no, you're not. I was like, guarantee within 20 minutes, I'm gonna get a phone call. Well, 5 minutes later, it was as soon as all my kit was ready to go, I was like, yeah, be at this building at this time tomorrow morning. You're going down to Saint Jean. You're
Right.
delivering vehicles. That was about it. That was the extent of the tasking. A group of us were supposed to deliver vehicles. Once we got there, things changed. So it's okay, now that your boots on the ground, well, we're staying down here for a couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah,
So,
it was quite the fastball with the ice storm because the weather hit, all the towers kind of collapsed, everybody was out of power, and it was just a total mess.
no, it was chaos in some of the places that was hit. I mean, there was people burning whatever they could inside their homes just to stay warm.
Right.
There was doing security checks, not well, security and wellness checks. Literally, they were advised, to keep the doors unlocked so we can knock on it, open door, announce ourselves, and go in and check on them. So there was a few things discovered that they really didn't want to remember, but
Right.
there's a few casualties to that. So,
Well, I know, like, I was stationed around the Brockville area, and one of the problems that they were facing was guys would hook up their generators to power, heat or electricity, lights and stuff, but they weren't flipping the breakers off, so they were backfeeding the lines. So now the hydro crews were going out and trying to fix things. As soon as they touched the wire they thought was dead was now a live wire, and these guys were getting electrocuted. And
yeah.
that was our big problem in the Brockville area. But
But yeah, it's pretty much the same. I mean, there was a couple of incidents where people were burning whatever they could inside their home in a small area, no ventilation, and there was, there was firewood actually being guarded with weapons. So
really,
yeah, it
wow,
was, yeah, it was pretty wild.
uh, slightly apocalyptic at that point, right?
Yeah, yeah, almost. Yeah, slightly up. Yeah,
But
something right out of the playbook of The Walking Dead, almost.
right, and I remember they had a lot of concern where like people would have their barbecues inside and they were cooking indoors at the
Yeah.
barbecue with all the windows closed because of course it's winter time and it's cold, so carbon monoxide poisoning was becoming a problem, and you know everyone's getting kind of sleepy in the house.
There's a few things like that. So, I mean, but I mean, that's kind of what we signed up for, like domestic or foreign deployment. So I mean, it
Right.
is what it is. It just kind of has an impact on us after a while, and we just don't realize it. We stuff it away.
Well, yeah, and it does kind of hit a little closer to home because these are Canadians that we're helping out, and if you're also near the same area, because like Cornwallis is not too far from the Saint Jean area, in the grand scheme of things, so you could be driving through that area many years later, and you're remembering. It's not like, okay, I'm driving down, Kandahar on a regular basis, but here you are now in Saint Jean. You have those same sort of vivid memories really fast, right?
Yeah, and it took for me, it took a long time to be able to watch anything remotely close to that for in regards to triggers and whatnot, memories.
Right.
whatnot. So
And it's funny how the memory kind of creeps in and you don't always know, right? What's that it's going to happen, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, there it is, and
yeah,
so
and just kind of takes you by surprise. And well, that's what the health professionals and psychologists and psychiatrists and all that are for. And